For example, Tristan Tate pulled up a video, his favorite whiskey, Johnny Walker. What do I do at duty free? Fucking Johnny Walker. That night, sipping the fucking Johnny Walker in the war room by myself with him, chilling. Why? I studied, bro.
I made over $30,000 working for Luke Belmar as one of his first ever clippers, but then I got kicked out of his team for turning him into a meme. This is the full story of what happened, why his whole operation fell apart when I got kicked, and what I learned working for him. Before I get started, I want to say two things. I'm not trying to slander his name. I'm eternally grateful for being able to have worked for him, so if you're expecting any negative or anything regarding him being sued by Evan Tan, no, I don't care about that drama. It's just purely my experience as a clipper, working for Luke, and all of my lessons that came with. Second of all, I absolutely hate the word clipper. I've never ever called myself a clipper. Not that it's degrading or anything, I just hate that word. I'm only using it because it became a buzzword recently. I've always labeled myself as a marketer. I just wanted to get that out there. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Emra. I've worked with people like Andrew Tate, Luke Belmar, Iman Gadzhi, Russell Brunson, clipped for over 2 years, generated over 400 million views, and I cashed in over 6 figures from doing it. So here's how I even got into his team. This was in the summer of 2023. I was on the verge of quitting working for Andrew Tate for moral reasonings, and right at this time I was approached by one of Luke's team members on Instagram. He said Luke wanted to build a team with the best of the best clippers. Getting accepted in, getting approached by them, it actually felt like I had made it, like I was part of something real, like the results that I had generated finally meant something. So me and a few others who worked at Tate were poached away. He had a community called Capital Club, which wasn't publicly launched yet, and he needed people like us to spread awareness about it. So I was basically given raw content of Luke. I'd edit it up, post it on social media, and I would get paid on the views that I generated and on the sales that I generated too. If I had 5 million views, that meant I would make $1,000 that month. My income wasn't just limited to views, but I would also get paid on the people that signed up to his course, Capital Club. I would get paid 30% recurring every single time someone bought off my link. That meant every single sale that I made was like $110 that I would make every single time that person would resubscribe. So combining those two was quite a good income. In my best month, I made about $11,000 all from my phone.
Why are you wasting your time learning international business? Go international and learn business. I studied international business, and then my international business professor had never been overseas, said, fuck this shit, I'm out. And I became an international business entrepreneur. So you want to learn international business? Start doing business. You're not going to learn it from a motherfucking textbook. Hey, fat fuck, you're looking chubby. When do you finish school?
2 months.
What's your plan?
2 months. Maybe get a healthy body first.
Yes, why don't you have a healthy body now? There's no reason. So the next 2 months before you start your business or before you do your shit, you gotta get healthy, bro. Is your brother?
Yeah.
Gotta get this motherfucker in the gym, bro. Come here, young homie. I need you fit. You know why? Because the older you get, it's gonna be harder to get healthy. I need you shredded. Don't let this motherfucker eat junk food, okay? Anytime he's eating junk food, tell him. You have my permission. Hey, fat fuck, you're looking chubby, and you need to give him permission to call you out. You give him permission?
Yes.
If he gets fat, it's your fault, bro. You're not a good brother if he gets fat. Do you agree or do you disagree?
I'm glad you to meet you.
Likewise, boys. Nice meeting you.
Guys, mushrooms are crazy.
Would you recommend them?
Yes,
to
bro.
me? Isn't that like dangerous?
That's my knowledge.
Recommending that?
Everybody should do mushrooms.
Why?
I have been to the Amazon forest where there's 5-year-old kids taking ayahuasca and they're local Indian kids chilling. Aren't you kind of worried about the impact you're having? Because some people might see that video. It's great impact.
Why do you think they're so good?
Try them.
I'm scared, bro.
That's why. You know why you fear something? What is fear?
Just being scared, I don't know.
When can you fear something?
When you don't know what's gonna happen.
Exactly. I know what's going to happen. That's why I can tell you, not as an idiot, for you to learn that I maybe know something that you don't.
The videos that you just saw had millions and millions of views. I would even repost the same videos and they would still go viral every single time. These aren't necessarily the most edited videos. Like I said, I made these on my phone. These took maybe 20 minutes to make, but the algorithm loved it. My views kept stacking up and so did my payments. Everything was looking so good. I was making more money than ever before. Not just a few $100 here and there, but $11,000 was money I never imagined I would make. I made over $10,000 for Tate, but that was across 6 months. Now I had made that in a month. That was life-changing money. That's when I started to feel like I understood everything, like I had cracked the algorithm. Every single video got views and I felt unstoppable until I wasn't. Every single Luke Belmar video I posted became a meme. It got all the other clippers inside the community to post the same videos and get views on their pages too. Everyone was getting views with the same videos, and I personally didn't see an issue with it. I was getting more views, more sales, but the admins, they didn't find it amusing. I think every single week I was receiving a message from the support team that I had to remove a video for it being too offensive or too negative. They were just making me delete those videos because they were getting too much hate and too many people were copying me. They were basically robbing me of my views and and my money, and I couldn't do anything about it. If you claim those videos attract hate, why was I the one to be blamed? I wasn't the one saying those words. Okay, I might have put them together in a funny way, but that's how this game works. And I had created a meme. The reason you saw Luke Belmar being clowned all over social media, that's because of me. I take full responsibility for that. The comments were full of people laughing about it, sharing it with their friends. The algorithm went crazy.
I like mushrooms. Have you ever done mushrooms?
No.
Okay, you should do mushrooms. You would actually really enjoy them. I have a thesis for psilocybin mushrooms. Japanese scientists observed that there is an experiment that Japanese scientists did, and what they did is there was a labyrinth that represented the Tokyo subway system. And they planted mycelium, aka the mushroom, and they placed food on the other side of this virtual toy version of the subway system. And the mycelium, aka the mushroom, found a more optimized way of finding the endpoint, aka the food, than the engineers had crafted the Tokyo underground metro system. The entire Japanese current metro system is based on the mycelium network's movement because it is intelligent. So when you consume the mushroom, you're actually tapping into data sets in truth that come from the earth.
This video got me 1 million views inside of 24 hours, and it now sits at 6.4 million views. That video made me over $1,000. I thought I had cracked the code. I thought I was untouchable inside that team. I was #1 on their leaderboards months after months. But that's when I got hit with a reality check, and my first big lesson. I was posting videos of Luke Belmar being a meme, and the admins didn't like it. I didn't build a good connection with these admins. I'd love to say they were kissing his ass, and I wasn't, but I'm not gonna say that. And this is exactly how Luke Belmar's empire fell apart. So as I mentioned earlier, Capital Club, Luke Belmar's course, he initially launched it in October 2023, and then he closed it down just to create some FOMO for people to want to get in. We didn't know how long it's going to be closed for, so I just kept posting, kept growing my audience, kept stacking leads, waiting for the relaunch. Even if I didn't make any money from sales, I was only getting paid $1,000 a month. And I gladly did that because I actually believed in the vision. I actually wanted to make something happen out of this. This took about 6 months for the course to be relaunched, and I had about 7,300 leads, 7,300 people who wanted to give me their money, figuratively speaking, of course. I was expecting to make at least $20,000-$30,000 from that launch. Then the launch day finally came. I watched the promotion video and I was absolutely baffled. I don't even know if that's the right word, but it was absolutely boring.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what I like to call the digital gold rush. It very much resembles the opportunity that miners found in 1848. You've probably heard of the California gold rush, where 300,000 migrants moved from east to west with the hopes of finding gold. Today, well, we have found our own gold mines. The gold mine is at your fingertips. The gold mine is the opportunity when you access the internet.
I was actually refreshing my screen hundreds of times to make sure this was actually it. Some story about gold miners in 1948 or 1848 digging for gold and how internet money is a new gold rush. I genuinely thought my page was broken. I kept thinking something else was coming. The initial launch actually had some energy.
I can't just bring in a ton of morons that just paid me $1 a day into my ecosystem. There's no way on earth that for $1 a day or 369 bucks, you're going to convince me to give you access to everything.
I need to know that there's more to you than a fucking credit card. Do you understand, my friend?
But this second launch, where he made us wait 6 months to make some money from sales, actually felt so disappointing. Even after me and a few other guys shared our opinions, we were not listened to. And this caused his downfall. Not listening to top performers. On that first day, out of those 7,300 people, I got 70 people to sign up. That made me about 3.5k in the first 24 hours, which was still quite a lot of money, but after that day, it dropped to maybe a few $100s every single day. There were 3 people in there who actually made some money. The 3 of us, we tried to give feedback inside. We were blatantly ignored. We told them what was wrong, we told them what to fix, we told them what could have been better, but nobody listened. They just kept making us remove videos for having a negative impact on the brand and denying me all ways to make money. And then finally in June 2024, I got banned. So one morning I received a message. I got kicked out of a team along with 2 other top performers. They kicked out their top performers like it was nothing. I even left on the #1 spot. They said I wasn't making any content that was aligned with the brand. I tried to explain that these views were insane and that they needed to capitalize on it, but it didn't matter. They did not listen to me. I was a bit stubborn about that decision. After making them over 6 figures in revenue and generating hundreds of millions of views, it still wasn't enough. And it made me realize that these people, they don't really care about me, what I do for them. And honestly, I was pissed. I was absolutely pissed. I was #1 on the leaderboard of views and signups, performing better than all these admins and so-called top performers. It got to a point where all the other clippers were rather listening to me than to the admins, so they had their eyes on me. And I don't even think Luke had any idea all of this happened, because I had messaged Luke personally on Instagram and he seemed like he had no clue what was going on. So technically their own admins caused his downfall. These admins were supposedly the top performers, and supposedly I had to take advice from them. I'm doing my absolute best to not talk shit on them because they made my life miserable. They caused their own downfall. What can I say? I had lost all my income and I was anxious about it for a bit. But then I just started laughing, because that's when I realized I can actually do this exact thing for everyone. Not making everyone become a meme, but like making anyone go viral. I know how to do this. Getting kicked out was actually the best thing that could have happened to me, because by that point I had already figured out a system. I knew how to find viral moments. I knew how to create content that the algorithm loves. I knew how to make money through content. So I took that system, worked for Iman Gadzhi and then a bunch of other influencers. In total, I generated over 400 million organic views with talking head content and over $132,000 just from one skill. Not just from a client or another campaign, no, from proving the system worked over and over again with different creators. I did not tell you all of this just to throw some shade at Luke. And honestly, I have no bad blood here. It was a business decision, and I respect it. I'm telling you this because most people think this one skill that I talked about, that is just about getting lucky with one creator and hoping they keep you around. It's not. This skill is an asset. Once you know how to make content go viral, you're not dependent on anyone. One client drops you? Cool. There's hundreds of influencers who need the exact same thing, and that's what my entire experience working for Luke Belmar has taught me. Not some deep lessons about alignment or loyalty, just the reality that if you're good at this, you'll always have options. You'll always be able to make money. I've put everything I've learned from working for Luke Belmar, working for Iman Gadzhi, working for Andrew Tate. I've put all of my knowledge into a free community. There's over 37,000 clippers in there right now, learning the same system that made me over $132,000. How to go viral, how the algorithm works, and how to actually get paid. Tutorials on editing softwares, free assets, presets, whatever. Everything you can imagine to make life as easy as possible for you to start making some money. The link's in the description. It is 100% free. So if you're still wondering whether the skill is still worth learning, I just showed you what this one skill did for me after I got kicked out of a team and got robbed of all of my income. Imagine what it would do when you don't get kicked off.